Hi, this is Kevin at Brown's Homestead Harvest House, and we're going to be preparing a rotisserie chicken from our Cornish cross hens that we grew this summer. Shelly's going to be preparing it and going over the steps. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, I'm gonna cut the bag open, rinse the chicken off real good, clean it out, just make sure there's nothing, no feathers or nothing in there, get it rinsed off, pat dry it, and bring it back over to the plate. Shelly will create the rub that she's gonna put on the chicken, and we'll talk you through the recipe and how we're gonna do this. Okay, everybody, we're gonna start preparing the chicken. Shelly's gonna start doing the wet rub. The chicken weighs 5 pounds, 3 ounces. And Shelly's gonna start doing the wet rub. She's gonna be using 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of thyme or savory, whichever one you have. You can use ground thyme, that's what we're using here. Probably the thyme that has more of the twigs would be a little bit better, because on the overall end project of this, you know, you'll have the little twigs and it'd be a crispier looking skin with the thyme on it. But 1 teaspoon of onion powder and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So she's gonna make that rub, mix it all together, get it into a paste, and then she's gonna rub that little girl down. And on all sides. And then she'll put it into her skillet, into an oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit on the bottom rack for about an hour, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, depends on how your oven cooks. And she'll probably baste it once or twice during the process. And just keep an eye on it for the next hour once we introduce it into the oven. So we're just gonna let you watch how Shelly's gonna prepare this, rub it down, get it into the skillet, and go from there. We've washed our hands and all that stuff, you know, after the chicken, and we thoroughly cleanse and use antibacterial stuff for cleaning afterwards and before. So anyways, just gonna let her do her thing and go from here. Obviously, you may need to make a little bit more paste and increase your your wet rub just a little bit if you have a bigger bird or even a smaller bird. You know, but coat that girl real good and she'll crisp up. You know, you probably use this recipe on any fowl for a dry rub. And we're adding a couple little extra ingredients in ours. I like the Bearded Butcher blends. I don't know if any of you guys watch the Bearded Butcher blend channel, but we not promoting or anything, but I really like their stuff. It's the original Butcher blend, and then we also have the butter blend that we kind of add a little bit to it. I've noticed in the past with spices and stuff that if you add the steaks and everything, the flavors tend to dissipate when you're cooking and stuff like that. They don't remain with their intense flavor. I've noticed with the Bearded Butcher blends, these guys and stuff, tends to stay around and taste really good and keep its flavor in the recipe. So Shelly's just gonna add a tittle-it to her dry rub, a little bit of both, and that'll increase the flavor and kick it up a notch, as Emerald would say. And yeah, you can never have too much flavor, you know, it's really good. So but yeah, just add what you guys like, but cook it hot, you know, at the 425 on the bottom rack of your oven. Okay, Shelly's about done with the rub. We're gonna put it in the skillet, and then she'll apply the rub to it. Can't be afraid to get dirty here. Oh yeah. Smack it and rub it down. And then I think what we're gonna have with this tonight is we're gonna have some cauliflower and probably some mashed potatoes with some gravy. And really carb up for the night, you know. It's a weekend, eat real heavy so you can crash on the couch and watch foosball. Yeah. So, she's about done here. Then she'll place it in the oven, like I said, at 425 on the bottom rack for about an hour. She may baste it with a little bit of butter or some of the juices maybe in the bottom of the pan. And we will show you the end result here in about an hour. So that's what it looks like when you're done with your dry rub. That's going to be so good. Hey, this is Kevin. The chicken just came out. It was in for about an hour and 5 minutes. I know it looks a little black, but that's just the spices and stuff on there. It's really crisp. It's really moist. And then we're also going to have some of our homegrown sweet potatoes that Shelly added in a brown sugar sauce and baked them to go with this, along with some other mashed potatoes and some cauliflower. So this is how it turns out. Really good, really moist. And thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.